Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel, Wrestling with Books, where I review books pretty much while making coffee and doing what I need to get done on my work breaks around the house. So let's get to it. Today I'm going to be reviewing Under the Whispering Door by T.J.Klune. And this is the first T.J.Klune book that I have ever read before. The most known ones, to me at least, have been The Extraordinaires and The House in the Cerulean Sea. That book really sounded amazing, and it seems like it has left a lot of impressions on people, but I haven't gotten to it yet. But when Under the Whispering Door became available on my digital library as an ebook, I said, let's just do it. I didn't even go into it knowing what it was about, just that I wanted to read. So this book, you first meet a man named Wallace, and he is a cutthroat boss, and you meet him through, all you know about him in his life is how he is as a boss, which is that he's really ruthless. He doesn't really care about his employees. He doesn't seem to care about anyone other than just getting the job done. So the visual I got of Wallace from this was actually, I pictured him looking like Vince McMahon from the WWE, because I view him to be like a cutthroat, you know, kind of maybe horrible businessman. So that's what I picked. Guys, this is editing Nina. You have to watch, I don't know where the camera is that I'm looking. You have to watch this clip again in slow-mo if you didn't see what I just did. So now that little sandwich tie just like flew out of my hand, rests on my shoulder, and I don't know when it comes off, but it's there, and that just cracks me up. Which like kind of ruined my flow later, having him as my visual, but I will get to that, because the next thing we see of Wallace is that he has died. He is at his own funeral, and the only people there are his law firm partners and his ex-wife, and one girl, she's an Asian girl in like a beautiful red suit, and he does not recognize her. And he's at his funeral, so he's like, oh, and by the way, this is gonna be like a full review, so it's not like, so yeah, I would say spoilers, but it's not gonna be like totally spoilerish. You know, I'll let you know before there's anything major, but I am gonna be talking about the plot points, so that's how I'll put it. He's at his funeral. They can't see him, but this woman can. He discovers that her name is May, and she is a reaper, and she's going to be taking him to the ferryman to go to his afterlife. So this is a book about death. That's what I then learned at that point. Removing sides as I get ready to fill the coffee pot. So, or the pod. I'm doing K-cups today, guys. Been doing K-cups. So May takes him to the ferryman, ferryman. And, you know, as a ghost, he has like this hook on his chest that has a cable to it that keeps him, like, I guess, connected to this world he's in and not leaving. And where she takes him is to this little tea shop called Charon's Crossing, and I guess, you know, like a mythology joke. And Hugo is the ferryman who will be working with Wallace for when he is ready to pass, and he passes by going through the Whispering Door, or the door that is in like the top of this house. You get that visual of that big crooked house and the on the book cover. So a lot of this in the beginning is Wallace kind of learning these cast of characters. In addition to Hugo, the only other, in addition to Hugo and May, there are two other characters who are there. Apollo, who is a dog ghost, and Nelson, who is a older man. He's Hugo's grandfather, and he's there too. And as Wallace learns this world and these cast of characters, he's becoming a different person. Maybe it's because of who he's with, maybe it's because he's away from work. You know, I don't really I think it's an element of really all these things, and that he's able to help in different ways and hear people in different ways, because this place, Cameron's Crossing, is an active tea shop. So he's there and he's having to watch guests and experience things, and also he's able to witness other ghosts who come in and are struggling with crossing, and that's where he's really learning about these things. And there is if you leave the property, your soul starts to tether away from you, and you become what they call a husk, which is basically just like a shell. So that is why, you know, Wallace is staying and can't escape. However, there is one husk character who has escaped that Wallace finds a bit of his purpose in trying to save and trying to understand. So that's as much as I'll like. No, I do want to say a little more. Okay, so this is kind of spoilerish, but it does become a bit of a love story between Hugo and Wallace. And what do you do when a human and a ghost fall in love? And that gets explored in this book as well. So if you think that concept sounds fun, then this is definitely something to read. I will say, I think the biggest, what I just didn't connect with this concept of, you know, the afterworld. Like, it just wasn't for me. Like, I just didn't like it. Like, the hook in the chest and all this, it just wasn't connecting with me. And that was like my biggest struggle with the book, was that maybe I just didn't feel the world of it. But the writing was so great. I found myself, as every chapter ended, I wanted to keep going. So even though it's a book maybe that I didn't like, I enjoyed reading it. It's an enjoyable book. I just was not crazy. Just was not crazy about some of the story itself. I hate to say that, you know. You know, and you have to read on to discover. That's my Keurig machine. I don't even think about these things. That, like, I'm gonna hit the button and then it's gonna make some noise. And now I lost my train of thought. Hugo, Wallace. I think I'm most curious to see if I'm going to favor House on the Cerulean Sea more, because that is one I was really eager to read. But this one I did enjoy, and I would read that book before then deciding if I'm going to read this author again. However, I also felt the book was colorblind, like that. It just felt like we, you know, it was black, white, Asian, everything all together, no questions asked, nothing, you know, where it was just like that, and that was okay, you know, like that's what it felt like, which was really nice. Kind of like when you watch Bridgerton on TV, and it's like, you know, things can just be, and that's great, you know, and that's fine. So I really liked that. Same way with gay, straight, bisexual, asexual. It all was just there and accepted and felt fine. And I really liked that. And I believe that's a bit of a theme in his other books. So that's something, you know, that I can look forward to in others. And just like that, guys, my coffee is done, which means so is this review. This is the first time I have done a standalone review on this channel. So if you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments so I know whether or not this is a nice, like, mental break that I can, or that I should take again in the future. I mean, I may do it anyway, but I like to get some feedback, you know. I like to get some things going. You can also follow along on my primary channel, Wrestling with Disney, or just stick around here with Wrestling with Books if all you want to talk about is books. Sorry, I'm filling the water pitcher now because I am all about that multitasking life. I will see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.